Good evening. Welcome to the Falls Township Board of Supervisors meeting for March 7th, 2016. We'll begin with the pledge of the flag, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thank you. Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Galloway?
Here.
Mr. Brasky?
Here.
Mr. Harvey?
Here.
Mr. Dents?
Here.
Here. Okay, thank you. Board had a brief executive session before our meeting. Mr. Clark, want to give us a brief summary, please?
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Earlier this evening, the board held an executive session to discuss a litigation matter and a potential litigation matter. And following our meeting on February 16th, the board held an executive session to discuss several personnel matters. Thank you.
Okay, we're starting off our meeting with a couple of ceremonies for recognition. The first, I'm going to turn to Mr. Gray, involves our Fire Marshal, Rich DiPolito.
Yes, at this time, there'll be a brief presentation to the Fire Marshal, Rich DiPolito, for achieving the professional certification from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for emergency management coordinators. At this time, I'd like to ask the Fire Marshal, Rich DiPolito, to come to the podium.
Good evening. I'm George Wilson. I'm the Deputy Emergency Manager for Bucks County. First, I want to say thank you for a few moments to allow me to present this to Rich tonight. I've known Rich for about 12 years now. We've worked side by side on several emergencies. So it gives me great pleasure to present Rich with his professional certification on behalf of the PEMA Director and the Director of Bucks County.
Sir. Thanks, Rich. Okay. Well, congratulations to our Fire Marshal, and many thanks to Mr. Wilson for him being here making the presentation. Next, we have a graduation ceremony for our Citizens Police Academy. Our Police Chief, Bill Wilcox, is here, as well as a couple of the members of our police department and a lot of people in blue shirts of our police academy. So we're proud to have you here. Chief?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, tonight we're here to celebrate the graduation of our 4th Academy class. To say that it was it extended beyond our expectations would be an understatement. Our officers, the class, everybody did an outstanding job, and I can't say enough good things about it. I'd especially like to give kudos to Corporal Wolverton, Officer Yeager, Lieutenant Whitney, and the entire staff of the police department that worked on this. We're very fortunate to have these people here. Now, excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather. I want to turn this over to Officer Yeager.
Thanks, Chief. Good evening, Board. Tonight I want to thank you on behalf of the Police Department for recognizing our most recent graduating class of the Falls Township Citizen Police Academy. We have put much effort and pride into the curriculum of this program. Our objective is to be as transparent as we can in showing our citizens many aspects of law enforcement. We have designed the Academy to give a better understanding of why and how we do this job. I want to share with you the topics we chose for the 4th graduating class. We start the Academy with an overview of the Township and the Police Department. Lieutenant Whitney spoke about the hiring process from an administrative perspective, as far as what they look for in a recruit and why. He talked about the many steps needed to pass to get hired. We then had Officer Iacona talk about the responsibility as a field training officer. He spoke about what is required of him and the rookie in this process. We finished week 1 with our most recent hire, Officer Divini. She talked about testing to get hired, the many steps in our process and life at the Philadelphia Police Academy. Week 2, Officer Whitney gave an overview of the Diane Corrado 2007 murder case, talking about the many agencies that assisted in this investigation. Weeks 3 and 4 dealt with crime scene investigation. Sergeant Clark talked about crime scenes and maintaining the integrity of evidence. We then created a crime scene to depict the 2007 murder of Jacqueline Goulding. Renee Thompson played our victim and laid still on the floor for over an hour of observations. We divided everybody into even number groups. Each group had 3 5-minute opportunities to view the scene and ask questions. When we returned the following week, each group made a presentation of what they felt happened at the crime scene and what steps they would have taken to solve this crime. Detective Sergeant Clark finished the class with an overview of the crime, including 911 tapes and photos. The 5th week, we talked about our community policing efforts in Falls Township. We talked about the academy. We talked about the Youth Police Academy, the DARE program, the Wingsmen and Women's program, and the Youth Leadership program. Officer Felipe then talked about traffic stops and the dangers that are present during them. Our 6th class, we conducted mock traffic stops. We had role players come in and play different characters to simulate a real traffic stop as our citizens acted as police officers. This block was designed to create some stress for our citizens. We then went to the Township Park for a canine demo and uses training. Everybody was able to handle a dog and learn more about how we use them. On a Saturday morning, we went to the range. There, Officer Moratti, a sniper on our SWAT team, shot at fruit that I bought the night before. I know everybody likes watching the big melons explode, but I get excited when I see him get those real little ones. He shoots from about 100 yards away. Sergeant Finelli gives a great overview of SWAT and shows the equipment that is used during SWAT. Officer Elmo and his dog Monty also give a demonstration. We end that training with a lesson in dynamic room entry and work our way up to using paintball guns to target designated targets. From there, back to the classroom for training on use of force. Sergeant White and Officer Fisher talk about justification of force, and we all practice baton strikes along with handcuffing. We then have our role players return to help us with police scenarios. We partner the citizens in pairs and have them handle all kinds of calls, from domestics to death notifications to suicides and many more. We then spend a night with Judge Vislowski. This is when she is on call, and we are always guaranteed to see a couple of arraignments. She is a wonderful hostess who is very good at explaining the job of district justice and what she expects of a police officer when presenting a case in her court. We then had a tour of the new Bucks County Courthouse Sheriff's Department. Deputy Woodward did an outstanding job of welcoming us into their department. Officer Eisenhower then talked about narcotics investigations. He also explained drugs and the effects that they have on the people who use them. Our last week, we wanted to create some stress, so we had a shoot, don't shoot class. The citizens watch a video which places them in situations of risk. This requires split-second decisions to shoot using a simulated gun or not to shoot. I want to thank the board for allowing Chief Wilcox to bring this program to life. I also want to let the community know that we have begun accepting applications for our next Citizens Academy, which starts on March 30th. Application deadline is March 23rd. You can get applications on the Township webpage or in the Police Records Department. Also, we have a Facebook page titled Falls Township Police Citizen Police Academy, where you can view photos that we take each week of these citizens, and it is up there for viewing. Thank you, gentlemen. At this time, I would like to invite our class up for a photo shoot.
What was that?
How did Toby enjoy the dog sledding?
She loved it. Did this guy in the back go through the program too? The one with the gun?
And gentlemen, if one of our citizens would like to say a few words on behalf of the entire Academy. John Luchansky.
Thank you. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for allowing me the time to speak about the Falls Township Citizens Police Academy. My name's John Luchansky, and when Corporal Wolverton asked me at our last class if I would be willing to speak about the program, I think I caught him off guard when I, without hesitation, agreed to it. I consider it a privilege to have been able to attend the program, and I believe that not only should the program be required attendance for everybody in the township, but that every township should have a program like this for its residents. While each week offered something new and gave us a unique look into the life of law enforcement officers and other members of the law enforcement community, for me, the real takeaway was, from the program were the people who brought it to life. Lieutenant Nelson Whitney, Corporal Mike Wolverton, and Officer John Yeager were the three gentlemen who served as our primary instructors, and their passion for not only their chosen profession, but this program shined through every week. In fact, every person we encountered was professional in their respective presentation, and their dedication to their profession was clearly evident. We encountered men and women of integrity with a passion for upholding and enforcing the law. Because of this passion and dedication, the program exceeded every expectation I had coming into it. And it's my hope that you, the Falls Township Board of Supervisors, continue to support this asset to our community. Thank you for your time, and thank you to the Falls Township Police Department for keeping us safe.
Once again, I'd like to thank the entire board. Thank you very much.
Okay. And I think, I guess the certificates you're going to be giving out on your side, that's...
We're going to go over to our office now, and we have some light refreshments, and we'll give you guys.
Okay. And I would just want to thank, first off, just before everybody kind of leaves it, first off, thank everybody for participating. You know, it's really sort of, I think it's a great program. It's something the police officers came up with on their own. They presented it to us, and it really was kind of really very easy decision for us to say yes. I think it really helps people get a better understanding of what a very difficult job police officers have, whether it's in a suburban community like ours or a rural community or an urban setting. You know, it really doesn't matter. In most cases, the decision-making process you have to go through doesn't change. The situations might be slightly different, but usually not that different. And so, and really, Corporal Wolverton and Officer Yeager and Lieutenant Whitney, who was the head of the community policing, really have done a fantastic job, as have all the other officers who volunteer and help out. And so thank you for participating, and thank the officers very much for all their work. So thank you.
It's a pro. And he runs his department like it's a professional organization.
Okay, we're allowing everybody to sort of file out, and Mr. Gray is retrieving the public comment sign-in sheet. For people that are interested in more information, the newsletter, the Falls Township newsletter that recently went out, I know it hit my house, I think Monday or last week, does have information about the
I don't know if that will happen.
next program that's going to be offered. And so, if, you know, people are obviously free to take a look at that or contact the police department during the non-emergency line and find out more information, or via Facebook, like Officer Yeager said. Thanks. Okay. Roland Kenny? No.
Short and sweet.
Roland Kenny, Falls Township. A few months ago, you used to go out and survey the new people coming into the township. You still have that program where you take film and you talk about them?
Oh, the live here, spend here.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, for businesses. Yeah, it is something that we're continuing to work on. It's you know, we have one person right now who's trying to do everything, and so we're
Okay,
looking to see if there's different avenues we can take to help him out in terms of getting it done.
Are you my man I'm looking for, Mr. Hudson? I'd like to introduce Thomas Hudson. He's the owner of Good Stuff. That's on Route 1, across
Okay.
from the old,
Sure, the old Langhorne Ski Shop.
yeah.
All you have to do is send an email to Mr. Gray, and he'll put it on the list of businesses.
Okay.
Yeah, we try to do one a month. It takes a while for our staff to do everything and process, and then we let it run for a while. I know they've been a little behind. But yeah, we do have a sort of a list of companies that are waiting, and we've been talking to a couple people about how to maybe make it a little easier in terms of, especially on our staff having to do it. So, is that if that's what you're looking for, and then it's
That's all
be
I
happy.
wanted
Yeah, be
to
happy to add
Talk
to
to
the
Mr.
list.
Gray, and he'll
Yeah.
get you on the
Okay.
list.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. That's the only name on the list. Anyone else wish to speak?
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
See no hands. Okay, all right, item number 2 on our agenda is consider authorizing the township manager to finalize the award for the New Falls Road Sidewalk Project. Mr. Gray.
Yeah, so on January 18th, the board authorized a notice of intent to award to Ben Cardino for the New Falls Road Sidewalk Program in the amount of $299,000. At this time, the board is asked to consider finalizing the award, subject to review by the Township Solicitor's Office and the Engineer's Office. Tonight, to discuss this further from RVB is Ms. Vanessa Nedrick.
Butchered that.
Good evening. As the board is aware, we took bids for the project for the New Falls Road sidewalk on January 13th. As Mr. Gray said, that the notice of intent to award was provided on January 18th by the board. That started the 30-day clock for public review and comment period. During that time, we evaluated the bids. We received information about the contractor being responsible. The general contractor, Ben Cardino, they met the requirements, but now we're still in the process of still receiving information from the subcontractors to prove that they are responsible contractors. So we're still getting that. I believe that we're just missing information from one subcontractor. And in the meantime, the 60-day time limit for holding the bid numbers is going to expire. So basically what we did was on March 3rd, we sent a letter to Ben Cardino just asking them, because the township is still considering awarding the contract, if they would hold their bid price for another 60 days until the township decides which direction they want to go in. So that's where we are at this point. So we're still getting information. There's one contractor that we're waiting to get information from, and as of this evening, we still haven't received anything. So.
Okay. And I know we talked a little bit about this, I think even asking Mr. Sullivan, I think the subcontractor is one that we're familiar with, and so I think we have reason to believe that they meet the requirements. It's just that they haven't submitted the actual
The paperwork, yes.
Okay, so it's a relatively simple thing.
They've done work on the road program in previous years.
Yeah, all right. So they're definitely people that we know of, and it's just a matter they haven't, checks in the mail kind of thing, probably, something like that.
Right.
Okay. And so I know Mr. Gray introduced this as authorizing the bid, authorizing the manager to finalize the award pending final approval by the solicitor and engineer. That's referencing basically getting the documentation.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. All right, comments or questions for Ms. Nedrick or for Mr. Clark? Mr. Gelli?
No questions.
No questions.
Mr. Dents?
None.
Mr. Rocco? No? Okay. All right, any public comment? There's no hands. All right, I will look for a motion to consider authorizing the township manager to finalize, or authorizing the township manager, excuse me, to finalize the project, New Falls Road Sidewalk Project, pending final approval by the solicitor and engineer.
I'll make that motion.
Seconded.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you, Lisa. Okay, item 3 is consider quotes for fertilizer for the township facilities. Mr. Gray?
Yes, the township has received 3 quotes for the 2016 fertilization period for Falls Township properties. They include True Green for $15,420, Capital Turf Management $16,411, and Excel Maintenance Service $19,215. The township has used True Green for the past few years and would like to consider using the company service for this current year. The board is asked to consider True Line for fertilization and
True Green.
True Green for fertilization on township properties for 2016.
Okay. All right, it's a pretty standard thing we do every year. Comments or questions for Mr. Gray and Mr. Lawson from Public Works is here as well. Any questions or comments?
No, nothing.
No? Okay, any public comment? See no hands. Is there a motion then to award the contract for fertilization on township property to True Green in the amount of $15,420?
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Galloway?
Yes.
Mr. Boraski?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Dents?
Yes.
Mr. Ruffin?
Yes.
Okay. Item 4 is consider a snowplow purchase for the Public Works Department. Mr. Gray?
Yes, Jason Lawson from the Public Works Department has secured a quote for $10,375 for the purchase of a new heavy-duty plow. This will be off the CoStarz list. This purchase would replace an older plow that has been damaged through the years. This plow is able to be used on the larger trucks in the fleet and interchanged between approximately 4 other pieces of equipment used with the township trucks. The board is asked to consider this quote for $10,375 for a snowplow purchase from H.A. DeHart and Son.
Okay. All right, again, Mr. Lawson is here if anybody has any questions.
No.
Yeah, I do.
No questions.
Mr. Lawson, if you don't mind.
Good evening.
Hello,
Hi, Mr. Rocco.
how are you?
Good.
I guess it just seems like a little bit of an odd time to purchase this. Is there a reason why we're...
It is,
Okay.
with the snow over, hopefully. What happens is, come April 1st or April 15th, the price will go up. There'll be a 3 to 5% fluctuation in the price. I guess they build them certain times of the year, and then it goes into next production, I guess. And they told me there'll be a 3 to 5% increase, so I figured to bring it now.
Yeah.
I would have waited till later, but, you know, I don't want to pay the 3 or 5%. It's the same plow that we're going to have to get.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you. Go ahead.
Any other questions for Mr. Lawson?
No.
Mr. Galloway? No? Any public comment? See no hands. Okay. And Mr. Gray, this was budgeted?
Yes, it was budgeted. It comes in under budget. The budget amount was $12,000.
Okay, and this is $10,375.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion then to purchase the heavy-duty plow from H.A. DeHart and Son in the amount of $10,375?
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Galloway?
Yes.
Mr. Boraski?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Dents?
Yes.
Mr. Ruffin?
Yes.
Okay, next item is consider purchase of 70 colonial-style LED streetlights for Falls Township. Mr. Gray?
The Public Works Department has secured a quote for the purchase of new LED streetlights for the township. This purchase would be off the CoStarz list and would be done by the Public Works Department. They will remove the old lights and then install the new LED colonial-type fixtures. Cost of this project is $41,562. This would be from Valley Power. This amount comes under the 2016 budget of $45,000. The board is asked to consider this purchase at this time.
Okay. Comments or questions for Mr. Gray or Mr. Lawson? Mr. Galloway?
No questions.
Mr. Boraski?
No questions.
Where exactly are these going to be installed?
We would have,
Don't say it.
did you say when?
No, where?
Where?
I have a list, a multiple list. Chilton Court, Buck Drive, Rowley Way, Durham Court, Mark Anthony Court, Makefield Village Development, Gilbert Drive, and Simmons Drive. They're split up. I guess they're the remaining lights that are not LED that the township's
Okay,
creating.
thank you.
Mr. Rocco?
I have none.
Okay. All right, don't see any members of the public who really left, so there's no public comment, I guess. All right, so we're looking then $41,562 to purchase LED lights from Valley Power Incorporated. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Galloway?
Yes.
Mr. Boraski?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Dents?
Yes.
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
Okay, item 6, consider the 2016 sign and post bid for Falls Township. Mr. Gray?
Yes, recently the Bucks County Consortium had a bid for sign and posts. The lowest bidder was Garden State Highway Products. At this time, the board is asked to consider Garden State Highway Products for the purchase of sign and posts for the township.
Comments or questions from board members? Mr. Galloway?
No questions.
Mr. Boraski?
What signs are these, Pete? You know what signs?
These are for various signs throughout the township, similar to the stop signs or other types of signs throughout the township. They would come just regularly without any paint or lettering on them. We could do it in-house, or we would get it purchased from the company directly.
Thanks.
So children at play, that kind of
Yes.
stuff, okay. Mr.
We paint our own stop signs? We don't just buy stop signs?
We can do them in-house, or we could buy the material in here to do it, or we can buy it directly from the manufacturer.
Okay. That's all.
This is our,
We painted stop signs. I thought we just bought stop signs.
yeah, you would think, right? Is this our first year doing this? I don't recall this.
Oh, we've done this for many years, yes.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay. All right, and this is part of a consortium again. Do we know how many, shouldn't I find, I think I saw it here, it is here. So participating municipalities, about 13 or so municipalities do this, right? Ben Salem, Bristol Township, Doylestown, us, Lower Makefield, Lower South, Middletown, New Britain, Newtown, Northampton, Upper Make, Warminster, Warrington. Okay.
It's a shame the best deal they can get is in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I assume Garden State Signs is in New Jersey.
You buy
Vineland.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. Any more comments or questions?
No.
Everybody's good? Okay. So then we are award the consortium bid for signs and posts to Garden State Highway Products Incorporated. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. I think that's it for Mr. Lawson. He might be free to go. Yep.
Just hang out.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah. Mr. Clark might be buying dinner later on, so you're welcome to
Yeah,
come
make
along.
him go home.
What are you saying, Mr. Clark?
Item 7 is consider proposal from FX Brown for Act 101 recycling grant. Mr. Gray.
Yes, FX Brown has submitted a proposal dated February 2nd for completion of the Act 101 recycling report that is done for the calendar year 2015. Total cost of this project would be $3,500. We have used this company on and off since 1999. And as an example, last year, actually in the year 2014, the township received a grant for $83,744, and our hope is to get a similar dollar amount for this year's application as well. The board is asked to consider this proposal from FX Brown at this time.
Okay. So for people that don't necessarily know, because this is only something we do once a year, is award this contract renewal. The township is awarded grant money based on the tonnage of recycling that is done by residents of Falls Township. And so the more we recycle, the more money that comes to the township in terms of these grants. So we frequently kind of encourage people, I think the newsletter we put out encourage people to recycle. Falls Township now has single stream recycling, which means that instead of having to separate things the way you used to, paper and glass and, aluminum cans versus everything else, and certain plastics could be recycled, certain plastics couldn't be recycled, certain paper could, certain paper couldn't. Essentially now, almost anything, that's, cardboard boxes from cereal boxes, the little cardboard rolls for toilet paper and paper towels, cardboard boxes themselves, all of that can be recycled, virtually every kind of plastic. It used to be that I think the kind of plastic they made, for like laundry detergent bottles out of, couldn't be recycled, but normal plastic bottles could be, things of that nature. So now everything can be recycled. So we've been encouraging people, you know, it's become easier to do it this way, just recycle. And just the data we have here, from 2013 to 2014, the township essentially saw an increase of 3,000 tons of recycling, which brought in an extra $20,000 in grant money. Now, I don't know, we didn't, obviously what we just approved, we'll figure out exactly what the township did in terms of recycling in 2015. So we're always operating a little bit behind, because this company has to get all the data from the previous year and then compile it and then apply for the grant. And again, if we're receiving a grant for $83,000 and we essentially paid this company $3,500 to do it, you know, we're making, it's over $80,000 that we're bringing in. So it's a good, obviously a good investment. But the grant could be higher if people, you know, recycle more, basically, is what we're asking. Do we know, I know I asked you a little bit last minute, and I apologize to Mr. Gray. I was just curious about numbers before 2013. I don't know if you had a chance to get a look at that or not.
Yes, for the prior year before that, we did receive $54,669. Tonnage that year was 7,591.
Okay, so for 2012. So essentially, between 2012 and 2013, there wasn't much of a difference. And then from 2013 to 2014, 3,000 tons more, which is obviously, you know, again, $20,000 extra, you know, coming to the township, which is a great thing. But I know that's something that we don't often think about. People don't necessarily realize we get awarded money based on how much ordinary people recycle. It's not just the township. It's not just this building. It's, you know, everybody, all residents in the township. Any other comments or questions for Mr. Gray regarding the FX Brown proposal? Mr. Galloway?
No, you covered everything. Thank you.
Mr. Boraski?
No questions.
Mr. Nance?
No
Mr. Rocco?
questions.
Okay. All right, public comment needed? See no hands. All right, so is there a motion to approve or to renew the contract with FX Brown Incorporated for the amount of $3,500?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Galloway?
Yes.
Mr. Baraskis?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Dents?
Yes.
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
Okay, item 8 is consider purchasing 6 vehicles for the police department. Mr. Gray?
Yes, Township received a memo from Lieutenant Airy regarding the purchase of 6 new patrol vehicles. These would be purchased from New Holland Ford. This would be, funds would be allocated under the 2016 budget. Total cost of these 6 vehicles is $245,397. The board is asked to consider this purchase at this time. In addition, Lieutenant Ward is here for any questions the board may have.
Mr. Gray, what's the final number here? It's broken down here, but 245, you said?
245,397.
397, 245, 397. Thank you.
Good
Lieutenant
evening.
Ward, thank you.
Our fleet's catching up with us. We haven't purchased as many cars as we had in the past, over the past couple of years. So we're finding the maintenance is really starting to kill us on the vehicles. So we'd like to purchase 6 this year, if it's possible.
Okay. I think one of these will be a canine vehicle. Is that accurate? Or?
Yes, they're the oldest vehicles in the fleet right now. One of them is my original vehicle from 2005. So we really got our money's worth out of that vehicle.
Right.
We also originally, under the old budget, we put these in for Chevys. We found out the Fords are $4,000 cheaper a piece, so we're asking for the Fords.
Okay. All right.
Are 6 of the same vehicle?
Yes.
Well, it's 2. No, there was 2 expeditions.
There's
and
2 expeditions for the Supervisors and then
Ford
the
Explorers.
Ford Explorers like we have.
Okay. All right. Any comments or questions? Lieutenant Ward?
Budgeted.
No.
Is it, for the year, is this all the cars you need, or?
Yeah, for right now. Hopefully nothing happens.
Let me ask, do we budget any more than this?
No, we did not budget any more than this. We got 1 vehicle at the end of last year, which was the Dodge. We were going to experiment with that to see how that worked out. And then we originally were going to get the Chevys, but now we found out we can get the Fords cheaper. So we're going to try for the Fords.
How did the Dodge work out?
We haven't had it out on the street yet. We're still waiting for the tags to come in. Tags haven't come in.
You're cops, you can drive without tags. Who's gonna
Yeah.
pull you?
Tell that to the state police.
Okay. All right, so we'll be looking at approving the amendment here. I do see one hand up for public comment. Is there a motion to open public comment?
So moved.
You have to come to the mic. Sorry, Mr. Latuma. All right, motion made to open public comment. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Okay, Mr. Latuma?
Good evening. Just it's 245,000 something for 6 vehicles. How much costs a unit? Like 8,000?
No.
60,000?
What are they?
44.
Yeah, the expeditions are 53,713, and the.
No.
Wait, what's that?
Excuse me. The expeditions,
Yeah.
$43,284 each.
Oh, I'm sorry. I looked at the wrong number. I apologize.
How much for the other ones?
$39,707.
Okay.
And that's fully outfitted, that's not a...
Yeah, no. Okay. It's full equipped with Okay, that's
Yep.
it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's with the light package, the cage in the back, all the other safety equipment that goes with the vehicle. It's just not a normal vehicle that you go out and buy.
Yeah. Right. It's not off a lot of McCafferty or something. Okay.
Cop tires, cop...
Yeah, cop tires.
Cop transmission. Blues Brothers, you didn't see the movie?
All right, is there a motion to close public comment?
So moved, sorry.
Sorry. All in favor? Aye. Okay. All right, so we're looking again, $245,397 from New Holland Ford for the 6 vehicles for the police department. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay, Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Galloway?
Yes.
Mr. Bransky?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Dents?
Yes.
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Ward.
Thank you.
All right, minutes is item number 9 for February 16th, 2016. Any comments, corrections, additions to the minutes?
Excellent minutes as always, Mrs. Poulin.
No?
Yeah, actually. So I thanked Mr. Harvey for his handling of Elcon. If you can just clarify that in there. I think it said that I just said thank you or something,
Your
but it
board
was
comment?
specific to Mr. Harvey.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So it's on page 6. Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, don't have need for executive session. Manager comment?
Yes, just a few items tonight, Mr. Chairman. First item is a letter from Betty Brooks, who is the president of the Bucks County St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee. She has sent in a letter requesting consideration for a donation of $6,000 to the committee for the 2016 parade. They did provide a budget for this as well, and also this has been included in the Falls Township budget for 2016. The board has asked consideration of a $6,000 donation to the Bucks County St. Patrick's Day Parade for $6,000.
Okay. Comments or questions?
No.
No? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the $6,000 donation to the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee?
So moved.
Seconded.
Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Galloway?
I abstain.
Mr. Bransky?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Dents?
Yes.
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
Okay.
Town-
I'm sure we'll be hearing a little bit later more about the parade.
A little bit.
Go ahead, Mr. Gray.
The township received a letter from Mr. Tom Hecker dated February 19th requesting an extension of time on the New Falls Road conditional use and land development project. This extension would be through April 30th. The board is asked to consider this extension at this time.
Okay, this is the St. Joseph the Worker property, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right, believe they did submit plans, didn't they, Mr. Sullivan?
Yes,
You have-
yes, they did.
Okay. And where are they in that I get asked this question, that's why I'm, where are they in the process? Because people are asking me what the timeline is.
They will not be on this month's planning commission.
They will not be?
No.
So the April's Planning Commission
Yes,
and,
provided they're ready for that, but that's their first opportunity to be next month, 4th Tuesday in April.
okay. All right. Comments or questions?
No.
Is there a motion to grant the extension to April 30th, 2016?
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor? Aye.
Township also received a letter from Ed Murphy dated March 2nd regarding 115 Lincoln Highway. It's also the car wash for the land development project, requesting an extension of time until June 1st, 2016. The board is asked to consider this extension.
Okay, any comments or questions?
None.
None.
Okay, is there a motion to extend to June 1st?
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, board comment? Mr. Galloway, let you go first.
Me?
Sure.
Okay. Last Saturday, we had the ball in honor of our Grand Marshal for the Bucks County St. Patrick's Day Parade. That was Maggie Lorady. It was a wonderful event. We're following it up this Saturday with the 28th annual
Yeah, I don't know
St. Patrick's Day Parade. We're going to step off on the same route on New Falls Road from St. Joe's down towards Conway, Egan, and Tech School. So the route hasn't changed. We step off at 10:30. Look forward to it very much every year. We have thousands of people come out, spectators, and over 1,000 people that are marching. One of the highlights this year is every other year now, it seems, Pennsbury marching band is participating. So that is a wonderful thing. So I'd look forward to seeing many of our Falls residents out there this week, and I look forward to seeing many of you, gentlemen.
Absolutely. We'll be there.
And I heard the weather's going to be pretty good, so
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Boraski?
No comment.
Mr. Dents?
Yes. Mr. Kenny brought up the live here, spend here, and we haven't done much in a few months now. But we did actually just this week start, we had someone go out and interview a few businesses, and we're getting that back on the ball. So we'll be having a monthly update, at least on Facebook and on the website and the TV channel. So that's something you can look forward to. And I'm looking forward to the parade this weekend, and nice weather's coming. That's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Raffo?
I have no comments.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just a few things from me. With the weather getting nicer, it's easy to sort of lose track of time. It is still winter, technically, for a couple of weeks. But there are a couple of disposal days coming up in April for people that are looking to sort of clean up in their yards and dispose of things. The spring yard waste cleanup, which is similar to the leaf collection that Waste Management does in November, December. This is on April 23rd. And basically, you can put out almost anything, as many bags as you want, of yard waste. If you're going to put branches out, they can't be longer than 4 feet. And again, this is a little more than a month away, but just to be thinking about it in terms of some people remember. Well, I know there's a day that Waste Management comes out and collects stuff. When is that? Well, it's late April, but we'll keep reminding people. There is also a bulk disposal day where you can bring large items that typically might not be collected from the curb. You can take that down to the landfill. That is free for residents of Falls and Tullytown. That is April 16th. So again, looking a little bit ahead, but just something that I know people wonder about and are thinking about in terms of planning things. And finally, Township did get a letter from what's called the Bucks County Tour of Honor that I just wanted to make people aware of. In the past, the county has worked with some other agencies in Pennsylvania to do what's called Honor Flight. This is something that became popular around the country after the construction of the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. Honor Flight is a program that flies for free, or transports, maybe not flying, could be buses, could be anything, for free World War II veterans to Washington, D.C. so that they can see the World War II Memorial. As we know, the World War II ended 71 years ago, and so a lot of the veterans of that war are in their 80s and 90s, and a great many of them have passed just in the past few years due to old age. And so this is a continued program. They're changing it a little bit. They're not affiliated as they used to be with the previous people that they were associated with, and so this is still run through the county. They're calling it a Tour of Honor, and they're again focusing this year on veterans from World War II and Korea. The trip will be on September 26th, and there is some information that we'll have on our website. I know Mr. Gray has a copy of this, and make people aware of this, and we can also kind of have this flyer in the Township building for anyone who's interested. If you are a World War II or Korean War veteran, or you know someone who'd be interested in taking this trip down September 26th, 2016, it is arranged through the Bucks County Tour of Honor, and so that's something to keep in mind. And with that, I thank in advance Mr. Galloway and the rest of, and Mrs. Brooks and the rest of the parade committee. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and they do an excellent job. It's probably the best parade in Bucks County, not just St. Patty's Day, but for the whole year. It's a lot of fun. I've been proud to be in it, and I know the rest of us have been in it now for many years. It's always something we look forward to. And we missed the one last year. Unfortunately, the weather didn't cooperate, but it looks like the weather's going to cooperate this year. So encourage everybody to come on out and enjoy a good time. Even if you're not Irish, it's nobody's perfect. Mr. Galloway and I, of course, are lucky enough to have relatives from the Emerald Isle. The rest of the board members, not so much, but okay. So, again, thank everybody for a good meeting, our staff and the rest of the board members here, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.